You're not fair to me. I always tell you.
What is CDC guys in here?
I just feel listen.
Moral support for our chairman.
You want to get enough moral support? Yes, indeed, that's it. We bring this one down. This is it, the Truth Breakfast Show. Our last segment is about to start today. We have with us, no doubt, the biggest political party, opposition political party in Liberia, the chairman, the man who leads that party. His name is George Solo. We're going to talk a wide range of issues. He's accepted to be with us this morning. Yesterday we had planned to host him, but unfortunately I did not honor that invitation and that appointment. Thank you very much. He's here this morning. Josh, good morning and welcome to the Truth Breakfast Show.
Good morning, Mama. Thanks for starting with honesty. I think oftentimes you misrepresent.
Why you go honesty?
I am failing to appear, whereas you.
No, yesterday
the organization has been less than perfect. So thanks for taking that
because
responsibility.
You did not receive a call earlier, so I just told you, by the way, you say you man of your words. Whenever you give your commitment, you stand by it. So that one you won me on it. And thank you very much for coming this morning. Wish you all the best. So how is the CDC faring?
Good, great.
You want to have very good, or just keep it as good?
Good. You know, I vary until you're talking about leadership, until you're talking about making major decisions to affect all Liberians. Right now, we're making decisions to affect our parties.
You be a little bit quiet.
Hopefully,
you be a little bit quiet these days. Not much have been heard from you.
I'm working, Mama. My job function, the responsibility of my job is partially to speak about what I'm doing. It's mostly to do what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to.
As a politician, once in a while, it's better to hear you, let know what is happening.
Yes, but once in a while is what you are saying is less. So you are defining once in a while.
Yeah, because we hearing other things. You want to run for Senate for Grand Judah County?
No. I contemplated. I had a discussion with my family. I had a discussion with the political leader of the Congress for Democratic Change. I had a conversation with my colleagues that I work with, and I came to the conclusion that the responsibility to change the lives of all Liberians is kind of more for me than the responsibility to assist Grand Judah get to a certain point. It's a priority, but I think the decision is based on the need of the nation and helping the Congress for Democratic Change attain leadership and initiate those true changes that we talk about. I found that more relevant than just representing Grand Judah County.
When did you see that going after the consultation?
Yes, I had a state of mind about making a decision based on what is right for the CDC. And I don't believe that I could handle both responsibility adequately as national chairman and
a lawmaker at
the same time. I also did not believe that the responsibility of lawmaker and the responsibility of national chairman were the same thing, serving the same group of people, in the sense that it was now reduced to one sector. When I speak now, the question will be, is he speaking for Grand Judah or is he speaking for CDC? And
did John Weah tell you not to contest?
No. And Ambassador Weah,
what did your consultation
it's not that kind of person. Our consultation focus on where the party is, the kind of work that needs to be done in the party, and whether individually do you have the ability and the capability to do both. And I think if I had said yes, honestly, I think I would have had the support of the political leader. I did not say yes because I did not believe that I could. And based on that, it was.
Were you approached by people from Grand Judah County to contest?
Oh yes, obviously. Even
so you're turning
down
the quest of your people.
I am
not
turning down the quest of my people. I'm saying to my people, we cannot localize our issues.
What does that mean?
It means if I go back down to start seeing things only from a Grand Judah perspective.
What's wrong with that?
No, what's wrong with that is I have an opportunity now to see it from a CDC perspective, which is a bigger perspective, which is a national perspective, which is an inclusive perspective. Because I have people from Grange that in CDC, I have people from Lofa in CDC, I have people from all
So
the
it's not a
15
duty to be
counties.
serving political party at the same time want to serve a country. You don't see that?
I think you can, depending on your personality, depending on your state of mind.
But why you did it?
I don't have that personality.
I see a Secretary General taking that line.
He has the personality to do so. He have
I
done.
don't understand.
He has done
It's good
his
for
own
him
thing.
and it's bad for you.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, it's bad for me. I know me. I have lived with me for this amount of time.
Because
I know me better than anyone else. I live with me 24 hours.
I think he's taking the wrong decision to serve the party at the same time want to become a senator.
But that's your thought.
And what do you think about that?
I think it's okay.
It's okay.
As long as I had conversations with him relating to that role.
I see in a way
The
that you trusted him with the party
of
work.
that role.
He's trying to relinquish that work for a political.
No. The word relinquish is inappropriate in this instance.
Oh,
He's
you're
trying
trying
to
to-
explore the possibility.
Well, you refuse to explore that possibility.
But that's my choice. That's where the whole issue of democracy comes about, Mamadi. That's my choice to ignore it. That's
Sincerely, I think you're afraid of certain people in Grand Jury. This is why you don't want to run.
I hold fear for no man. And fear is something I'm not familiar with.
You and fear did not sleep in the same house.
I have never seen fear. I have no indication of
I see
how
why you
fear
talk the way you
operates.
talk. You talk with strong confidence.
Because the day that you were made to be here and the day that you will leave is already established. Whether you are dishonest or you are honest, you will die the day you are supposed to die.
That is
I choose to say it the way that I see it. And I choose to live
You don't
in an
care about the
honest place
consequence
with
of your
people.
utterance.
Well, if the consequence of my honest utterance is misperception, then what can I do
You know,
about
our
that?
people, the Madinga people say any truth that will cause problem, don't say it.
And the same Madingo people say to you, do not lie. Because our culture, that particular Madingo Islamic culture that I'm familiar with, Mamadi, because
So you're
I practice
very
that culture.
interesting, man, since you're
So if you
in a
say,
political party,
when our people
at the
say
same
don't
time,
lie,
you know, any truth that will cause problem, don't say it.
Mamadi, in this nation,
Okay, anyway,
we must learn
Those are just
to,
teaser.
we must learn to respect honesty.
Okay,
Even if it's difficult to accept initially. Because this has to be the basis for our growth.
Okay, let's move to the politics. Your party just, you've written a letter to Ben Ayub. A very wealthy man that have given you some money. I mean, the CDC has worked with the CDC throughout for the past time. And you are indicating that there is a group called the Friends of Ben Ayub. And if at all that group continues, that will be contradictory to the intent of your relationship with him. You want to confirm that you've written him in the first place?
The situation of Mr. Yu and the communication to Mr. Yu has to do with the regulations of the Congress of Democratic Change. So this is Mamadi working in this institution. The lunch hour is 2 o'clock every day. You have an employee here, you have a member here. Membership is voluntary in political institutions. But those political institutions are still governed by rules and laws. Because if you don't have those things, then our very affiliation and possibility for success is limited. So we say when you put more than one person in an ideological space, you have to put in rules to govern them. The rules are there to govern the institution and not individuals. Now, one of those rules that the Congress for Democratic Change have is you can engage in exploratory political activities as a partisan of the Congress for Democratic Change. When those exploratory political activities goes to a certain extent that the party feels can affect or adversely affect the strategy, the movement, the position, the contents of the institution, then it is that institution right to say to you, Mamadi, caution, lunchtime is 12 o'clock. We love you. We love having you here. We love you as a member. please respect that lunchtime is 12 o'clock.
The rules.
Any member will write their institution back or call their institution or reconnect with their institution and say, bam, okay, wait, no, Melody, point of verification. Those concerns that you had, I did not break those compliant issues. So please do not be concerned. That's one way to resolve it. Another way...
So there is a standing rule that no member of the party can have a friend or blah, blah, blah.
You can have a friend. It's not about the friend. There's a standing
institution.
rule. There's a standing rule on campaign.
No, let me get this right.
No.
Is he campaigning, or there are indications that he's campaigning, or he has, an institution called Friends of You? You have problem with the Friends of You?
No, I don't think the Congress for Democratic Change have an issue with the Friends of You.
State your issue. What's the issue?
The letter to Mr. Ure indicated some concerns that needs to be addressed. Okay? Some concerns that are issues that need to be addressed. And I think that is a communication between the Congress for Democratic Change and Mr. Ure. Processes related to the Friends of Ure and movements done by the Friends of Ure, which is, the letter you're talking about emphasizes that concern. But it is not out of the ordinary.
You just mentioned that you have the right to do exploratory activities in the party.
Yes.
But
those exploratory activities have limitations.
It cannot include Friends of Mr. X.
No. Friends is not a part of... Friends is a small part of the exploratory
Mr. Solo,
activities.
you're not clear on this. What do you...
Mamadi, what is exploration?
Exploration
is a process of looking into something.
Okay.
How deep you look into it is what determines the level of exploration. Okay?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people in this society.
So I have Friends of You.
There's a lot of people in this society now exploring being president. There's a lot of people doing a lot of things in this environment now. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I am saying to you, within the Congress for Democratic Change, okay, there are regulations on how much you can do before we redefine exploratory.
Okay.
Exploratory at a certain point can be harmful to the institution to which you are a member.
Okay.
And that is clear. But that is a conversation between members and their institution.
So he's a member, he's a card-carrying member of the CDC.
You are aware, you just stated here, and Mr. Ure have supported the CDC.
Yes,
which I can confirm.
The CDC and becoming a member.
Mr. Ure have told you he's a member of the CDC. I have confirmed to you he's a member of the CDC. I do not.
Don't you see his intention, his action speaking to having the presidential candidate position of your party and your refusal as a mix here?
What makes it my refusal? When did I
refuse? The political party now.
No, I did not refuse from Mr.
One of your
Ure
parties,
to be.
okay, some of you have resisted vehemently.
Yeah.
His intent to...
No, I have not. I have not resisted.
What do you think about that?
I think it's his right.
It's his right.
I think if Mr. Ure is
so you recognize the right of Mr. Ure to contest?
I do. I fully do.
But I see contradiction.
How do you see contradiction?
A few days ago, last week Saturday,
yeah,
you seem to portray yourself as somebody who is not tolerant to any other contention.
Well,
when it comes to George Weah.
Then you must take responsibility for the creation of that perception because you created that.
No, you mentioned that.
No. I said to you in 2017
and 2014
for standard bearer of the Congress for Democratic Change, I support Ambassador George Weah. I did not say that nobody else has the right to go against him in the convention process. I did not say...
Mr. Solo, don't you see that as very troubling?
Why is it troubling?
You are the chairman of the political party.
Let's get to that,
you bear some standard for the party.
I do.
And if all your credentials, democratic credentials are strong, I think the most appropriate thing to do is to keep your vote or your support silent to allow, because if you
now when it comes to George Solo,
because
a silent vote is not a choice.
Mr. Chairman,
if
I conclude on this thought, then perhaps it will place you in a
I will give you the time, Mamadi.
This is it. There is a social science theory that says your status determines your role. Certain status you have in society, you cannot do or say certain things. Here you are, the biggest man, the strongest man in the structure. You are expressing your support for one person. You are certainly, intimidating other people.
Status determines your role. Mamadi, I have not heard anything more off track in terms of the equality and justice we talk about every day, you and I. Now, if our statuses determines our roles, then you're now going back to elitism.
You sure?
Yes,
I don't think
because
so.
where you contradict that is when you say status determine your role.
Yeah.
Status is something that you can acquire.
Yeah.
Okay?
And can be given to you.
Your role is that something that you can acquire. It's something that you are obligated by nature to perform.
So you don't see nothing wrong with Solo supporting
I see nothing wrong with George Solo being honest.
No.
I see nothing wrong with George Solo being honest. I have one vote, and I strongly believe.
What happened to other parties who want to contest, for example, your current?
What happened to the other parties when George Solo said Ellen should step down? Yeah. The other parties stood up. They said no, George Solo, stop.
And this one, some of them are telling you stop.
Eh?
Some are saying stop. I know some of the parties who said that action was wrong on your part to openly declare your support for one person.
The difference here is you have. Which team do you like?
Liberia.
No, in the Premier League.
No, like Liberia.
Oh, you like Liberia, you want to run away from responsibility, even though you don't support the local league. So, okay, but that's fine. Let's come back to Liberia.
Okay.
When you feel like they will come back to Liberia,
let it borrow.
when you want leave, we'll leave.
Let it borrow.
Okay, no, let it borrow. Let's go to Liberia. I'll work around your comfort.
Okay.
Let's look at Sekou Jabate or Lise or Lafos. It's not Lafos.
Okay.
Let's look for the biggest player on our team. If you're out there, you're a Real Madrid fan, it's obvious, Cristiano Ronaldo. If you're Barcelona fan, it's obvious, Lionel Messi. Then look at all these people, Kaká and all these people. Let's say we'll pay millions of dollars for them. They will be the best players in our team. George Solo, as the chairman of CDC is the coach. Then you look at Cristiano Ronaldo, you say, my man, I get no confidence in you. In fact, the world best way you're going for, I'm supporting you.
The coach saying that.
They're the coach now.
Yeah.
And in fact, the world best, you're the only player from our team who can compete for that world best. But I'm supporting you. And we say, and the coach now is a little rough. I'll put a real English for you so you can understand.
I'm still wondering where you go.
You look at George Mane, we are the founder and political leader of the Congress for Democratic Change. You look at the only candidate, aspirant who have officially informed the institution and his national chairman that he is running. You look at a man who the strategy of the entire institution surround. The same way when Real Madrid go bad player, the only bad player who can play well with Cristiano Ronaldo. Then you say to me, because I, George Solo, said that I support George Weah for Montserrat County.
I don't know what it is.
No, let's wait now. Let me finish. Mama didn't finish. They are supposed to finish.
No, we interacting.
Mama are supposed to finish.
You're not doing ceremony. Sometimes
in the interaction, I'm supposed to finish. Now that's when you are doing it, when you finish. If you want to start, you can start. Because what you all don't know before you get to deeper discussions. Before you start to bring in individuals and personalities, normally the best option is to understand that there are things that happen in politics that are not on radio. There are things that happen in politics that are not on TV. So when you see a political leader saying something or taking a position, one must stop to say what draws this person to this very conclusion before you build perception. And that's where I believe.
Okay, I'm asking the question. What brought you to that conclusion?
You and some who
so let's ask the question.
Who come to perception quite quickly.
Yeah. What brought you to that position?
I would like to give you an opportunity today, Mom, to understand that we have a grave responsibility to our people. Part of that responsibility is to live with ourselves on the decisions that we make on a consistent basis.
What do you mean?
It means that I believe and I will not bite my tongue and I will not be dishonest as to be the national chairman of an institution that was founded for the motive of promoting George M. Weah to lead this country through the Congress for Democratic Change.
Let me get
and pretend that I will vote for primary and not vote for him.
So, you mean the CDC was formed with the sole intent, quote unquote, you just said it,
Yeah,
of promoting George Weah?
Of making George Weah president of
That was the
Republic
intent of the
Nigeria.
CDC?
Yes, that's why CDC was funded.
So did they ever become president finish?
No. It was funded to
Is that my English not too strong? If you
No,
say
I
something
know
was formed-
it seems like
You said the CDC
no,
was
no,
formed
it seems
to
like
promote
your comprehension is limited to a sentence.
Yeah, I agree that.
Because if
I
you
agree.
say after becoming
Then,
leader, then the work is finished,
Now, listen.
and your goal is to be leader, then Mamadi, you are confusing me.
So, I understand your point very well.
Once he becomes
My-
leader,
my
there's a
inter-
job to be done.
Now, my interpretation, and I want to agree with you, perhaps I'm limited in comprehension in this regard, is that the Congress for Democratic Change, that has Samuel Tuer, an ideologue of the party, one of the founders, and he laid out substantially the intent of the CDC, a people-based institution,
Yes.
as a Senate to transform Liberia,
Yes,
provide space for people to
Yes.
express their intent.
yes.
Here you are.
No,
Chairman
no,
of
with
the
who? All of those things. With who
He
as
didn't
the leader?
say. He didn't say.
Okay, but
it
then
was formed.
go back to your history.
Nah.
CDC was founded by George M. Weah
Yeah.
for using
To
as
promote-
a vehicle
Yeah, to
to
promote.
ascend to the presidency of the
But then
Republic of Liberia. and serve
how
these
come in
people.
2011, let me get this
Yeah.
straight. How come in 2011
Yeah.
you had another person and on your ballot?
He was still the founder,
Yeah.
and he was the vice standard bearer.
The intent of the CDC, I got it straight from you, is
Yeah.
to make George Weah president. But in 2011, you had different person on your ballot, which is Winston Thomas.
Yes.
Don't you see that as a
Because-
contradiction?
No, Mamadi, and you either falling short on comprehension of structure.
I accept that. My
Oh
contradiction.
no! And I'm not faulting you in a negative way.
No.
I'm saying
You
you
don't have
are
to clarify
falling
that.
short in the comprehension of the structure, the political structure,
Yeah.
or the political agenda.
No, I'm shocked by your comments.
No, but then you don't need to be shocked if you
No, I need to
understand
be
the
because
value of the
I
foundation
understand.
of CDC.
No. I understand what political parties are.
He is the political leader. In 2011, while he was vice standard bearer,
Yeah.
he was political leader. George Weah has always been the political leader of the Congress for Democratic Change. Okay? Now, if the strategy of the Congress for Democratic Change is widened,
Yeah.
it is very clear that it's beyond one individual. And I don't think we even need to dive into that emphasis. You know what CDC is today. You know what CDC stands for today. If you're going back to the formulation and you think that CDC was formulated without George Weah involved, then Mamadi, you need to check your
So
history.
where is the party in the absence of George Weah?
Now, in the absence of George Weah, CDC is
as
the
you-
biggest opposition party in the
No,
country.
as you asked it-
Mamadi
as
is
you asked
arguing
it-
about formation.
I see you individualizing. I see you
Don't
play.
mix, no, Mamadi, you mixing
Because
formation.
an institution is supposed to be an institution, not centered around a person.
When it was formed,
Yeah.
you know, let's
No, so just take the time. Go ahead.
and I'm taking the time,
Mm.
but I need you to put emphasis into understanding. And that means you too have to open up and say objectively, let me allow myself to get this. What I'm saying to you, at the time that the Congress for Democratic Change was funded, everything evolves. What the CDC have evolved into today is something else.
Different from the original intent.
Of course, what you are today is the same as you were when you were born. No, you are not.
Okay.
So let's not mix
So
up-
originally it was intended to do A, B, C, D, now has changed.
Thank you, Mamadi. Let's go to the next question.
Well, no, we
please.
can't go. We can't go forward. We have to clarify because what I know, what I've heard, and what you're telling me now, 360.
Oh, really? Okay, so who do you think spent the initial capital for the Congress for Democratic
Except you tell me.
Who you think spent initial capital for registration in 2000?
You tell me.
Who you think have supported the institute?
No, that's the
I will
reality.
tell you now.
That's
George
the
M. Weah.
Did. Okay, that's the reality. I want to know that because the good thing about you sharing the information.
George M. Weah. He
Okay.
paid for everything for the Congress for Democratic Change.
That's-
Today, for where we are, if anyone want to argue about the validity of the influence and personal contribution and sacrifice of George Weah to the Congress for Democratic Change, you are mistaken.
Mr. Solo, you are pushing a candidate, Ambassador George Weah, for 2017 special senatorial race. when in fact the party has not gone to primaries. You know, we have the incumbent, we have others wanting to contest the senatorial race in Montserrat County. But you've held the hands of Ambassador Weah high in the air. Why?
Thank you. Rightly put. And this is the opportunity that I wanted. Because, and normally this is why I always say,
I agree.
when you present a question like that, you compel me to lay out the issue. When you build a perception like Mama did have been doing, then it's difficult to explain the issue. So let me get to you. I put the hand up of a candidate, who is my only candidate, by the way. Nobody.
Have you said
In your capacity as chairman?
In my capacity as chairman, nobody bothered to review the facts. Ambassador George and Weah is the only candidate who have officially informed me of his decision to run.
But you don't have a deadline?
No. But I'm saying as of the day I spoke,
Yeah.
he was the only candidate that had informed me. Madam Freeman had indicated in previous conversations, which you are aware of, that she was going independent.
If?
No. If George Weah decide to contest, I will go independent. Nothing about the party, nothing about primary, nothing about process, right? So,
No, I'm not too sure.
so thirdly, you know when you can be sure, you cannot be sure.
Yeah, because I can remember her saying that she's already
Well,
receiving
and the
indication.
records are there. The
Okay.
records are there where she said she will go independent. Thirdly, I sat in a meeting called by Ambassador George Weah at his calling with Madam Freeman and Honorable Akara Spray. I was invited to that meeting as National Chairman of the Congress for Democratic Change by Ambassador Weah, where he wanted to have a conversation with Madam Freeman about Montserrat County and, you know, our party's chance in Montserrat County. Her own situation, how she felt she looked in Montserrat, and some of the names that were here were coming about in Montserrat that could pose a strong challenge to CDC regaining Montserrat. I was in that meeting, and I say it before God, man, and whoever there is, as a higher power. I sat in that meeting. Madam Freeman agreed about the complication of retaining that seat.
By her.
By her.
The challenges you mean?
With challenges, complications, give it the vocabulary you want. Okay,
Okay, I think we missed our attempt to get to also.
and then let me finish up. Let me finish up.
No, I want you to get prepared for that.
So then she even indicated even the possibility of chairmanship in the event that I was going to run in Grand Jita County.
She wanted to be chairman.
She said if the chairman is running in Grand Jita, you know, I could also contest the chairmanship. That's an option in which I could still serve my party. It was a very decent meeting. It was a very nice meeting.
Okay.
So, you know,
Thank you very much for letting that out. I think that is very significant.
Today, people, we must be honest in this country.
Thank you very much. Okay, let me do this. 0777469794.
0777469793.
The interest is getting very high. We have this one.
Good morning. Good morning, you're live.
There's a very cracking line.
Go away from the radio. Go ahead.
I'm gonna look up now.
Hello. Good morning. Your line is cracking. You have to walk away from where you are. And let me put this line on. Good morning. Good morning, you're live.
Are you in class?
Okay.
I mean, you gotta explain. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, my brother. Good morning. Good morning, you're live.
Yeah, my name is George Solo, and I come from Nigeria Thinker.
Go ahead.
Speak the word, Brian.
Good morning.
I strongly want to disagree with the national chairman of our party. I have to do
Are you a member of the CDC?
I am a member of the Congress of Democratic Change.
Okay.
I live to the transformation of Congress of Democratic Change. Our national executive back on the reality. I do live to the issue of the Senator Mozzarella. The Senator Mozzarella is now the independent candidate. I told the national executive I endorsed the Senatorial on the party.
Okay.
But then when she did now, it depends on the party. So
Thank
we
you
don't-
for that clarity. Thank you.
But
No, let's continue the calls. Good morning. I think you're taking note. Good morning.
No, you remember.
Pee-wee, Professor Pee-wee? Go ahead.
He said,
Okay.
I think so. Because
respond.
You respond. You
Just take
respond.
note.
Yeah.
no,
So,
I can take
good
one
morning.
of 3 and respond to 3. Don't give me 9 to
Good morning.
respond.
What is that? Okay, but thank you.
Okay, welcome. The man has massacred CDC. Thank you.
Let's make sure the time to see what we can get to.
Yeah, Senator George Solo. I'm trying to. Yeah.
Let me be.
Well, like you said, Mr. Cohen, obviously, the 100% situation. Even with the statement that CDC was funded to promote George Weah and the president, I was appointed joined CDC because I saw George Weah in CDC.
Okay.
That's how we grew now from beyond being a follower to a partisan and a ownership of CDC.
Okay.
So if the chairman says,
So you agree with him?
let me tell you the last one. The last one is I have sat in a meeting also. The senior senator of Mosogado came to us and appreciated the National George Weah. In fact, that was in the president of our son who is currently serving as a chaplain general for the National Youth League. Telling us telling National we are thank for everything like National we have received did for her, but she cannot contest. That was a year back. She
Okay.
cannot contest to give the call for help,
Thank you,
she's
thank
saying
you.
that she cannot continue to be sick and telling the people of Monserrato.
Alright.
I mean, so for
Yeah, Musa, you made that point very clear. We have a lot of persons on the line. Good morning. Very bad, Lara.
from the back.
Go ahead. Jacob, you're breaking. You want to call me on my 080? This
Look,
is
Mahoney, the reality is, I will repeat my statement. The Congress for Democratic Change was funded by George Weah and friends of George Weah to make sure that George Weah become president like this.
Okay.
That is a fact. That is where the history and the record of CDC sits
And no one can
today.
dispute that.
What it has evolved into, anybody can debate about it. But what it was funded for, if anyone is going to get on this radio and say, I made a statement I will regret, then the history book will be the first one I regret.
Okay.
Because the Congress for Democratic Change was funded to make George Weah president in 2005.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me conclude on this point. Good morning.
And we're trying to make a
Good
attempt to call
Okay.
Senator. The senator from is awful. If she's listening, she can just.
Call Honorable Akaras Gray, who was in the meeting. Call Ambassador John. No, because in this country we must be honest. You know those calls were coming in. and people are making point and giving their position. You know what? Even if you are a seditious, I am your chairman. There's a reason why when all of us seditious get together, we select one person to be the chairman. That because we want the person to make decision for us. The decision I have made is to support George Weah, both in Monserrato and for 2017.
So no primary?
There is a primary process. I have one vote.
One vote.
I have one vote.
And our vote is for?
And that one vote is for George Weah. And anybody who got a problem with your business, you got my vote.
You as party chairman could influence the process.
And I will influence the process if I can. And I've told you guys that. I don't know what language
you will influence it if you want.
I will call people that I know that are on the National Executive Committee. I will go to their homes at 1 o'clock in the morning. I will say respect that process. It's
so
a process for our
institution.
But I want to ask you,
so there's a stage
as a person. No, then you don't understand democracy. You say that stage management. Because if it's stage management, I would not have it in the first place before I publicly declare that I support this person before I go and campaign for this person. What you don't know and what you should be researching as a journalist is that the Republican Party, the Democratic Party, other political parties in the world, they have exploratory committees. The chairman come up and look through his people and come back to his NEC and say, this person I believe can help us. So I will help this person at the primary. But in Liberia, when you honest, it's a problem. So I should go to primary, I should write George Weah name on a piece of paper, I should come back with my well-teeth smile with the other person and say, I supported you. The choice of secret ballot is my choice. The choice of not having a secret ballot is my choice. That's my democratic right. Chairman or not chairman, I will exercise it. You get a problem with it, exercise your own. Come to the primary, you're seditious and you feel different and not vote for George Weah. Come to the primary and vote for who you want to vote for. But that primary, I will participate in it as a chairman and as a partisan.
Okay, very well. Let me put this last point to you. I think you articulated this point very well. That's your vote. You declare for George Weah, no wahala. Anybody who disagree, do anything you want to do. What do you think about the National Legislature move on the CBL Act to deny or bar or stop or prohibit the governors, the central bank from participating in anything political? The official position of the city.
The Government for Democratic Change strongly believe that there are positions in government that make economic decisions. Those decisions affect all of us.
Okay.
The person making those economic decisions should also not be someone who is eyeing the possibility of leading us.
So you support
because then all those decisions that you will make will be in the interest of you leading us. However, when laws are made, those laws should be reviewed strongly when it affects an incumbent, so that it cannot be appearing to personalize the law, because today you have a governor who is showing interest. Now we'll come back to the intent of the law. That's where the Congress for Democratic Change feels that if it is established that the intent of the law was to remove the person from in that function, from thinking about this and working for us better, we support it. If it was...
So how do you determine that, the difference?
Well, and that's where we have a Supreme Court, I believe, in this land, that can look into this issue and come up with legal foundation to say, no, we believe this law attacked this individual, so no, we do not support. Or we believe the law did not, I'm not a legal person, I don't have facts on the information.
So the city's position is mixed. If it's intended...
If it's with an intent to affect Governor Jones, we have a problem.
As a person.
If it's a law that is put in place to protect us as a nation, so that our future governors are not manipulating our economy to suit them, and we support it.
Also, are they incrementing the registration fees for aspirants of political aspirants?
We have registered our dissatisfaction over that.
It's too high.
It's too high. Even if you want to justify hikes, you got to do it periodically, and it has to be within reason. You cannot do a 200-300% hike in an economy that is not growing. You cannot do a 200-300% hike for a civil servant related elected position that obviously all of us are supposed to qualify for. The fee for that should be within a range that all Liberians can afford.
Okay, another one. There is a call from two lawmaker legislators that the finance minister should resign or be sacked because of quote-unquote budgetary shortfall. What's the position of the CDC, or may I say George Solo?
George Solo, as a financial person, have a good mindset that the budgetary issue is not a reflection of the picture of your Minister of Finance. There's a lot of components that support where your budget comes from. Collection, revenue is a big portion of it.
So it's not
but also projection. You project that this is what we'll collect. The elements that lead you not to collecting them compels you to now go back to the same national conversation that we had. If you are running a corrupt entity, your chief accountant has no ability to stop it. If you got all the managers and all the directors taking money from the places that the revenue are supposed to come from, how do you expect then that revenue to still be collected? So as a nation, we must have honest conversation. The finance minister doesn't work for me. He works for the President of the Republic of Liberia. He's more affiliated with the Unity Party than the Congress for Democratic Change. But the reality is you must look at the economy and not the minister. So it still remains, I'll give you an example. I'm the head of the MPA. I sit there, I take bribe every day. All the companies that are supposed to pay taxes to government, I take bribe from them, I put their stuff outside. And the finance minister projected that he was going to get $100 million from MPA in 2013.
From custom, yeah.
From custom. But the person in the boat putting all the goods outside every second.
And are you insinuating that's what happened?
So, no. I gave a scenario, please. Let's be rational here. Because the next thing you will see in the newspaper tomorrow, in the newspaper tomorrow, somebody will say the chairman say MPA person selling everything. And I did not. I gave a scenario. Let me go to water and see what. Because I myself I put inside. How the hell of water and see what?
They can steal water.
You can.
Okay.
I can distribute water to the different homes instead of having them pay bills. I go on my fee, people collect $5, $10, the members will pay $20, we take $2 from him. But then at the end, water and sewer also collect $20 million to get to government for the national budget. Water and sewer will fall short. Why we fall short every year on budget are corruption? Why are children sitting on the ground are corruption?
So you're going to blame the entire
Why
system?
do we not have healthcare that corruption? But anything is a Minister of Finance, the chairman of the Congress for Democratic Change, say I support George Weah. It's just a tail leg. Then you say we'll sit down, we'll talk about it for 3 days. What about going their food to eat in the country? You want to talk, let's talk.
Just so Chairman of the Congress for Democratic Change, we had a very strong interaction this morning. And thank you very much for responding positively to our invitation. Thank you for all your insight. This has been another presentation of Mamadi Diakite and Solomon Weah. We're bringing out the curtains tomorrow. Inshallah, we're going to be here with another presentation of the show. Please, let us all work, you and I, every one of us, to make this country better. Thank you very much for being there. We call it a quit today. Tomorrow will be